Danny Boyle's Trainspotting is one of the wildest and most unforgettable films of the 90s. But behind its shocking scenes and iconic characters, the making of the movie was just as crazy. From bizarre set secrets to unbelievable cast stories, here are weird facts about Trainspotting that will blow your mind. To prepare for their roles, the young cast of Trainspotting, including Ewan McGregor, Ewan Bremner, and Johnny Lee Miller, immersed themselves in Edinburgh's underground drug culture. They visited real heroin dens, spoke with addicts, and studied their mannerisms to capture authenticity. Director Danny Boyle believed the only way to avoid stereotypes was to portray addiction as it truly appeared in 1990s Scotland. The weird part? Locals often mistook the actors for actual users because they blended in so convincingly. McGregor even spent hours watching addicts shoot up, though he refused to try drugs himself. This research gave their performances raw credibility, showing the physical and emotional weight of addiction. It wasn't glamorous, it was gritty, desperate, and heartbreaking. By embedding themselves in that environment, the cast blurred the line between performance and reality, helping make Trainspotting one of the most disturbingly realistic portrayals of heroin culture ever filmed. Ewan McGregor almost took heroin for real. Ewan McGregor, who plays Mark Renton, considered actually trying heroin to prepare for his role. He was so committed to authenticity that he felt first-hand experience might deepen his performance. However, after consulting with recovering addicts, he decided against it, realizing the risk wasn't worth it. Instead, McGregor studied medical footage of heroin use, observing the physical highs and lows. He even practiced tying off his arm with a belt and mimicking the ritual of injecting. The weird part is how convincing he became without ever taking the drug audiences, and even former addicts praised the realism of his portrayal. McGregor later admitted he was relieved he didn't experiment, fearing he could have become trapped like the characters. His restraint showed that method acting doesn't always require dangerous extremes. Ironically, by refusing to try heroin, he gave one of the most authentic heroin addict performances ever filmed. The worst toilet in Scotland wasn't filthy at all. One of Trainspotting's most notorious scenes is Renton diving headfirst into the worst toilet in Scotland to retrieve opium suppositories. On screen, it looks revolting, stained, slimy, and disgusting. But in reality, the set wasn't gross at all. The production team built the toilet using chocolate and other edible materials to create the illusion of filth. McGregor later joked that the smell was actually pleasant because it reminded him of candy. What's weird is how the scene still made audiences gag. Despite being essentially made of chocolate fudge, Boyle wanted to push viewers to the edge, combining visual horror with surreal beauty as Renton imagined swimming into a magical blue ocean. The contradiction between how disgusting it looks and how sweet it actually smelled makes this one of the strangest film set secrets ever. Audiences may have squirmed, but McGregor probably walked away hungry. Danny Boyle paid homage to Kubrick. The look of Trainspotting is instantly recognizable, stylized, vibrant, and hyper-energetic. But Danny Boyle admitted he borrowed inspiration from Stanley Kubrick, especially A Clockwork Orange. The gang's chaotic friendship, surreal set pieces, and even the bold use of narration echo Kubrick's dystopian classic. What's weird is how Boyle blended gritty realism with surreal cinematic tricks, creating a movie both grounded and dreamlike. The infamous toilet dive and overdose sequence feels straight out of Kubrick's playbook, but reimagined for the 90s rave generation. Critics quickly noticed the parallels, with some calling Trainspotting the Clockwork Orange of its time. Boyle wasn't shy about the homage. He wanted to shock, provoke, and energize audiences just like Kubrick did. The result was a film that felt timeless, yet modern, rooted in cinematic history, while speaking directly to a new generation of disillusioned youth. The cast had to lose serious weight. To look convincingly strung out, the cast had to slim down drastically. McGregor lost over 2 stone, about 28 pounds, following a strict diet of no alcohol, no dairy, and plenty of exercise. Ewan Bremner, who played Spud, also dropped weight to embody his jittery, frail character. The weirdest transformation was Kevin McKidd, Tommy, who had to bulk up at first, then rapidly slim down again for Tommy's shocking decline into addiction and illness. Boyle demanded these physical changes to heighten realism, making the characters' bodies reflect their drug use. The extreme weight fluctuations worried health advisors, but the cast pushed through. McGregor later joked that he'd never been so thin in his life. Their dedication shows on screen. The characters look not like actors in makeup, but real people ravaged by drugs. This intense body preparation became one of the unsung secrets behind Trainspotting's disturbing authenticity. The film almost got an NC-17 rating. When Trainspotting was submitted to American censors, it faced the threat of an NC-17 rating, something that could kill box office potential. The MPAA objected to explicit drug use, especially the realistic injection scenes. Danny Boyle fought hard to keep the film's intensity intact, arguing that sanitizing it would undermine its message. What's weird is that the film ultimately passed with an R rating after some clever editing. Boyle slowed down the shots of needles entering skin, making them look less graphic, though still uncomfortable. This tiny change satisfied censors without altering the film's impact. Ironically, the controversy only boosted publicity, making Trainspotting seem edgier to curious American audiences. Instead of being buried by censorship, the film thrived, grossing millions and becoming a cult hit. The weird dance with the ratings board ensured Trainspotting kept its raw edge while still reaching theaters worldwide. David Bowie boosted the soundtrack. Trainspotting's soundtrack is legendary, packed with Iggy Pop, Lou Reed, and Underworld. But the weirdest connection came from David Bowie. Before the film's release, Boyle sent Bowie a rough cut, hoping for his blessing to use track. Bowie loved it and gave crucial advice on licensing. Thanks to his support, the production secured iconic songs that elevated the film's energy. Iggy Pop's Lust for Life became forever tied to Trainspotting, blasting over the opening chase scene. What's weird is that Bowie's direct involvement isn't widely known yet. His backing gave the film credibility with music legends. The soundtrack itself became almost as famous as the movie, selling millions and introducing a new generation to punk and electronic music. Without Bowie's stamp of approval, the film might have sounded very different. Instead, it got one of the most influential soundtracks in modern cinema history. Kevin McKidd was left off the poster. Fans often notice that Tommy, played by Kevin McKidd, is missing from Trainspotting's iconic orange and white promotional poster. The weird reason? McKidd wasn't available for the photo shoot. His absence led many to assume Tommy was a minor character, even though his tragic downfall is central to the story. The omission became an unintentional quirk of the film's marketing. For years, fans joked about the forgotten Trainspotter. McKidd himself laughed about it, saying people sometimes asked if he was cut from the film entirely. Ironically, Tommy's fate gives Trainspotting some of its emotional weight, making his absence from the poster all the stranger. The mistake highlights how chaotic indie marketing could be in the 90s, long before polished promotional campaigns dominated Hollywood. Today, the missing Tommy has become part of the film's weird lore, a little visual Easter egg for fans who know the full story. Irvine Welsh played a drug dealer. The author of Trainspotting, Irvine Welsh, didn't just write the book, it also landed him a small but memorable role in the movie. He played Mikey Forrester, the drug dealer who sells Renton opium suppositories, leading to the infamous toilet scene. The weird part is that Welsh wasn't much of an actor, but Boyle thought it would be hilarious and authentic to include him. Welsh embraced the chance, delivering one of the film's sleaziest and most absurd cameos. His brief appearance ties the film directly to its literary roots, blurring the line between creator and character. Fans of the novel were delighted, while casual viewers often never realized it was the author. Welsh later admitted he loved being part of the chaos. It's rare for writers to step into their adaptations, but in Trainspotting, it made perfect sense the story came full circle. The film boosted Scotland's global image for better or worse. Before Trainspotting, international audiences rarely associated Scotland with edgy, modern cinema. The film changed that overnight, putting Edinburgh's darker side in the spotlight. Tourists flocked to Scotland hoping to see the film's gritty locations, while locals debated whether it glorified or condemned drug use. What's weird is how a movie about heroin addicts ended up boosting Scottish pop culture worldwide. It inspired fashion, music, and even political discussions about the country's youth culture. Danny Boyle admitted he never expected Trainspotting to resonate so strongly outside the UK. Yet, it became a global phenomenon, defining 90s British cinema. For some, it was a proud moment of cultural export. For others, a controversial stain. Either way, Trainspotting gave Scotland a new cinematic identity, one that was raw, fearless, and unforgettable. Its weird legacy is that a story,